Alright, YouTube. We had a memory issue, but I got the video back. I think I might be able to figure it out now. Okay, so real quick, DX18 turning on. We had been plugging in these wires for the ESC. I switched the blue to the red and the red to the yellow because we had I was going the wrong direction. So rather than reprogramming this for that aspect, which I'm actually going to actually use this programming card, and we're going to reprogram this electronic speed control to have braking on. I'm going to show you the way you can do it without using these options. This is for a Durafly, which is a Hobbyking brand, and then this is the Hobbyking. So I'm going to show you real quick, and I'll show you how to hear if it's working or not. So right now it's plugged into the receiver, but just barely on the throttle channel. Throttle cut is on currently. This is the ESC we pulled out, which is also a 20 amp Hobbyking, so we would be able to program it with this. So we'll just lay that aside for now. Okay, throttle cut's on, throttle sticks down. Not that it really matters at this point, but we're going to need it to be actually full up, throttle cut off. Okay? Listen to the beeps. Plugging it in. Make sure you're on your airplane. Throttle sticks up. This is an otherwise dangerous condition. You hear the beeps. Okay, so I put the stick down when I heard that beep beep beep, which would have been the first whatever. Okay, so now we're going to unplug power. We're going to plug it back in, and we're going to listen. Throttle cut is on. Throttle cut's off. Stick is up. Stick is down. Okay, we're going to try this again, guys. We're going to throttle cuts off. Stick is all the way up. Plugging it back in. Okay. We must have stopped halfway through getting in the menu. So these are all different settings. You can hear it going through. Almost always the first one you hear is actually going to be for us braking. In my case, I'm going to actually interrupt this and just unpower it. Okay, we're going to go back in. Power's on. Once, okay. Now it's going to start. Now it's going to reboot. Throttle cut is not on. It is now. Power's off. Power's back on. Throttle cut's still on. Sticks down. Listening for the beeps. You notice it didn't do the beep, 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 beep. That's second beep indicates that the brake's not on. Okay, so the brake is currently on. So we're going to move the stick up. It's blowing at us. And when we look, it stops. And it stops. Okay, so we got braking. That's the way you can do it without a programming card on almost all. Throttle cuts on and tested, by the way. Almost all electronic speed controls conform to that. Not all, though. You need to be careful. Okay, so we're going to unplug this. We're going to reset using the programming card this time. Auto timing, reverse or normal. That's kind of weird. I guess we'll leave it in normal. This is the battery protection at 50%. I really don't want battery protection on, but if it's going to be somewhere, it's going to be as low as possible. Protection is going to be reduced, not stop. Brake is going to be on, so we'll flip this dip switch to the on position. Start soft, very soft. We're going to do soft. I guess you could do very soft since we're using a folding prop, but I don't really like having them. Okay, and we're going to be using LiPo batteries. We're not using Helic 1, Helic 2. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to plug this right into the, see how it's black to black, red to red, and white to white? That's pretty simple on this. But if it were in turnkey style, where it'd be like brown, red, and orange, or brown, red, and yellow, then you would just do the same. The brown would be black, and then the orange would be white. Okay, throttle sticks down. I bumped that. Okay, now this is a 3S pack, So if I wanted to power this, I could do this, and it's going to go across pins 1 in pin the ground and then cell 1. Listening, it probably won't initiate because this has to run on 2 through 4S. So the way you can do that is you can do this 2 ways. I have a little JST ended battery. Of course, you could just get a JST to EC, or excuse me, this would be a XT60 here. You can do this, or if you could reach the pins, you could do it this way. So positive is on the left, if you could reach, which I'd rather not bend the pins, but I think I can do it. Yeah, I don't want to bend the pins. I'm just going to use this. Okay, so the red goes here, and the black goes there. Plug it in, listen. I don't know, it's not wanting to do it right now. Just double checking stuff here. Well, everything's hooked up right. Unless this battery is just dead as a doornail, which is totally possible. We're going to go ahead and try this again this way. We're just going to go like this. Well, we'll check our battery bin for some extra batteries here. Looks like we don't have any JSTs in there. There's a bunch of different ways you can do this, guys. I'm going to just try it this way. I want to see if this works well. Positive is on the inside toward the camera. Okay, so I'm just going to touch that pin. This is 3S. I should make an adapter, guys, by all rights, but let's try this one more time. Normally it would chirp at you once, but it's not one to chirp at me, so I'm not sure. How about we just try this? We can do an alligator clip too, possibly. It's just digital multimeter leads here. And this doesn't take very long to program, so whatever you're doing, you can do it fairly quick and then move on with life. Just make sure you don't short out stuff. Okay, so there's the ground. To ground. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold the positive here to block the connection. So positive is going to be here. And then negative is going to be there. Well, I'm not sure why this stupid thing's not working right now. It wouldn't surprise me. It's Hobbyking. Why would I expect it to actually work, right? So what we're going to do is this is definitely a Hobbyking product. This is definitely a Hobbyking programming card. Whoops. So what I'll do is I'll just grab this. This is a Durafly programming card. We'll see if that one goes. Looks like signals here. Okay, and then we're going to use this battery. Okay, so we're LiPo, soft, brake is on, reduce, not stop, voltage cut off at the lowest setting possible, and then normal, and then auto for timing. Okay, good. There it goes. So it beeped at us. Okay. So now that that's done, hypothetically, we should be able to plug in our battery. So I'm going to go ahead and run this thing through. Now I'm curious if that thing's even working. I've already used it once. I think once. Maybe it's a one-time use. Let's call Hobbyking and ask. Wait, can't do that. Okay, so we got that plugged in to the throttle channel. Whoops, we got it into the bind channel actually, I'm sorry. We'll go into that channel instead, which is the throttle. Okay, throttle cuts on. Get this battery out of the way. Get this out of the way just in case. Throttle cuts on, but you never know. Okay, listening. Okay, good. So the throttle cut's still on. And we've got the air coming toward the tail. And it stops. Stops quickly. Okay, so it's working. Throttle cut's on. I think what we're going to do is we're going to call this good for the ESC repair. Or upgrade, or whatever you want to call this. We didn't really repair anything per se. We just changed it to a bigger one. And you see how there's a little bit of copper exposed there? And then I'm usually a little bit particular about that just because I don't want to cause a fire. Or just a dead short. You know, dead shorts are not usually a great thing to have in a plane. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat up the hot glue gun. I've done this a couple of times, a couple of different videos. It usually works pretty nice for us. But once that thing it gets hot, I'm going to actually pick up this little foam insert that I have down here and get that out of the way for the moment. I'm actually just going to try to center up make these wires tidy. And we can go ahead and detach them and grab a second one of these forceps. Wish I had two bent ones. Should have just got two bent ones instead of a straight and a bent. It's very uncommon that I actually need the straight ones. The bent ones are way better in most every application in my experience. Okay. Oh, look at that. They untangled. That's nice. Doesn't always work out that way. I always love it if I can get these wires to not be tangled. It's annoying having tangled wires all the time. But you can see up there. This is one of the planes my grandpa built, so there's things that he does that I might not do, and so I can't necessarily answer for why some of the things get done the way they do, but it's just his plane, so I just kind of enjoy them with him. And we work on the planes together. It's a fun thing to share. I would highly encourage you to spend time with your family doing this stuff if you can. And if your family hates it, it's going to make it a little harder to enjoy. Okay, so we're just going to hot glue. Should be pretty close to warm. Should be ready to use. So just going to put those things in a situation where they can sit down without worrying about having anything engage them. Okay, so like I don't want the battery to pull those leads out if it's shifted or something funny. So again, there's not like a perfect way on this. It's just whatever suits your fancy. Preferably you'll keep the center of mass left to right, you know, because you're going to be adding just a little teeny bit of weight with this hot glue. The reason I use hot glue is it's very easy to undo later if you decide to redo the way that this is configured. You don't want to have to fight it with a bunch of CA and stuff. I mean, you could hypothetically use CA or some other like foam tape or something like that, but I've just found this works really sharp. Okay, so I'm just going to hold that in position just like that. See, that yellow wire is being kind of pesky for me. Use this pen to walk that over toward the center area. Okay, now I'm going to take the hot glue. I'm just going to squeeze that in on top of those 3 leads. Doesn't need to be a ton, but then I take one of these like little Q-tips that has CA on it, and I just wipe it Just like that. Alright, there you have it. Guys, I really appreciate you watching. We're trying to get a flight video for you here shortly, if you would like to enjoy that with us. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.